Riders, how are y'all? I am in the car. Yes, I am driving, and yes, my truck is a stick. So if you see me change hands, it's because I have to shift. And yes, this is dangerous, but that's okay. I like living on the edge, and that's what we're doing. So, wanted to get y'all. I'm on my way home at a meeting that went late today, but I wanted to get you a video for tomorrow. I cannot tell you how excited I am for tomorrow. I think God is going to do some amazing things in the lives of our students and in our student ministry. We're just going to see a lot of momentum come from this, and so I'm super excited for that. Basically what we're talking about tomorrow, so we're still in Oomf, and the reality that you can still come home, and to be one of my followers, the kind of the tagline for tomorrow is you have to come home. And so at some point in all of our lives, we ran from God or are running from God, and it's a lot like the story of the prodigal son. So the prodigal son, he comes to his father and says, "Hey, listen, I want my inheritance," and basically tells his dad, I wish you were dead, and he takes the money that his dad gives him, and his dad totally was within his rights to just kill his son because his son was so dishonoring, and so he doesn't do that. He's gracious. He gives him his inheritance, and the son takes it and he goes into the world, and he squanders it. He gets rid of everything that he had, and all the friends and the money and the good times all leave, and then he finds himself kind of in a pig pen. And the reality of life is that at some point we all chase what the world has to offer. Like we go after the sex, the money, the drugs, the whatever, and we find ourselves empty and feeling alone and kind of just sitting in the mud and the mess of our life and what we've done. And what I love about the prodigal son story is there's a line that says, and then he came to his senses. And he came to his senses. I think there's going to be a lot of students that come to their senses tomorrow night, and their lives are going to do a complete just 180, and they're going to shift and they're going to turn. So this man, he said, he comes to his senses, and he says, why am I eating this pig food, basically, when the slaves in my father's house eat so much better? He said, I know I don't deserve to be a son anymore, but maybe if I go home and I ask my dad, he'll let me be a servant in his house. And so he kind of rehearses this thing. He starts walking home, and as he gets closer to the house, his dad sees him and starts running towards him, grabs him and hugs him, puts a new ring, puts a new coat, new shoes, he takes care of his boy. And the reality is that, man, you're never too far gone to not come home. You're never too far gone to have to just sit in the pig pen. The grace and the love of God says that, man, you can come back, or maybe you can come and be with me for the first time and be the son that you're supposed to be. And so really it kind of hits our students in either direction that they're in. Man, if you've never followed Jesus before, man, it's time to come home and be with your heavenly Father, your Creator, and maybe they have said yes to Jesus at some point and just have wandered off, and now it's, man, you're still his son, and he says you can come home, and that is so true. And kind of the finishing point of the message is you think about that story, and you think about grace, and you think about forgiveness. The person that receives grace and receives forgiveness, there's a little bit of awkwardness in that because you don't deserve it. And I gotta think that there was a little bit of awkwardness in this son when he went back to his father's house, and his dad throws him a party. Like he's probably looking down, not able to look anybody in the eye. And what the Bible doesn't say this. This is clearly just my imagination. I imagine God being the kind of father that finds that son and says, man, you can't earn it. You'll never be able to earn it, but I still love you. and you can come home, and you don't need to feel awkward about this, because the reality of the cross is that Jesus not only paid for our sin, but he also paid for our shame. So for me to sin and then ask for forgiveness and then to still feel shame is wrong, because God paid for that on the cross for me. He took that. He felt that shame for me, and so I no longer have to, because man, I'm separating your sin. I forget your sin. I'm taking it and sending it as far as the east is from the west. I don't even remember it anymore. And man, I think our students need to hear that, because there's shame and guilt, and they carry that maybe more than any generation has before. They feel and walk around with shame and guilt, and I am just so excited. And if you would just continue to join me in praying for what God's gonna do on Wednesday, and I would love, we have prayer time at 1 on Wednesday, and I'm gonna be there. I would love for you to come and be a part of that. I'm sorry, I said 1, at noon. From noon to 1 we do prayer time. I would love for you to be that. If you can't make that, I understand. Take some time, maybe mark that on your calendar, that time slot of 12 to 1. Mark that off and just say, man, I'm gonna be in my office, and I'm gonna be working, but I'm gonna be praying as I do that, and that would be huge. And I think that we'll see the fruit of that. Be prepared. I will have you guys go to the back to talk to your students and let them come and talk to you about things they're working through. We're gonna open up the front just kind of as an opportunity for them to go down and pray and do what they need to. But it's going to be an amazing night. I'm excited for it. I pray that you're refreshed and excited for another week, and just going to be some awesome things that God does. As we get closer to movement, if all of you could continue to sign up for that, I can't stress enough how important it is for you guys to be a part of that. I hope it's not as loud in this video as it is to me. I have a light bar on top of my truck, and it creates a lot of wind noise. Didn't think about that when I put it on there. So anyway, it is so important for you to be a part of that, and I would really appreciate it, and be thankful for you guys making time to be a part of that. I understand you have work, and that's vacation, and that's money, and I understand, and I could never pay you back for that. But the eternal impact that's going to be made on the students during that week of movement is going to be huge, and it's not going to be the same without you. So yeah, I love you guys. You're awesome. If you're on vacation, I miss you. I can't wait to see you again.